Sloppy. I'm behind you, man. 1, 2. Jump this guy. Clutch! God!
Join the fight with no countdown.
Alright, really quick review today. We're checking out Spectre Divide, a kind of first-person shooter from the first-person aspect. Is it any good? And you can probably tell by the thumbnail, I've put skip it. Is that how I really feel? You've just seen the gameplay, where I absolutely dominated, so I've obviously played it a little bit. Well, here's my thoughts, real quick. First of all, your menu screen. Let's go straight in, okay? Menu screen here is what you expect, okay? It's all the usual stuff. Sponsors are essentially the kind of weapons you use, or the specialism grenade. Crew, you can have a look in there. Kind of like your roster, leaderboards and all that stuff. Locker is obviously your locker for your cosmetics like it is on any game. I haven't bought any of that and won't be. Weapons, progress on weapons, how you're doing, etc. Play is obvious. Career, total fans, no idea. Look at that. KD last 71%, impact rating 2.3. We've been doing all right. There's a battle pass and there's a store. Right. As I talk, well, we got some gameplay on the screen. I'll give you my thoughts on it. So it basically is, you know, Fortnite Ballistic. It's pretty much that, almost a carbon copy, but Fortnite beat them to the punch and released theirs first. And here's why I've got skip it in the title, because some of it is better than Fortnite Ballistic in my opinion. The aiming and the feel of the aiming is really smooth, and that's good. Long distance, short distance, it doesn't really matter. But in terms of the actual gameplay, so here's the thing. You basically control 2 skins. Okay, one's called a Spectre. And you can bounce between the 2. And you essentially throw a little grenade, which is almost like pops up a hologram, which is where your secondary skin moves to. I mean, the actual methodology of the game and the framework of it is really, really clever. It's very unique and new. And I actually think this game will have a cult niche following that will maintain it for a while. I think there's some people who will get into this and love it because it's going to go deep into strategy. But remember, we're no camp dad. We're from the perspective of never camp, not never, versus casual gamer dad perspective. If you want to be a top player on this game, you're going to need strategy, you're going to need comms, and not everybody wants to get on their mic. Again, at the moment, it's only got that similar Fortnite Ballistic mode where you plant something called the Zeus. Let's just call it a little, you know, what it is. Little mechanism you plant in a certain area. Simple as that. One's got to try and plant it. The other one has to defend it and make sure it doesn't get planted. It's called the Zeus. Teams are 3, but essentially teams are 6 as you have 3 and 3. But here's why I've put skip it. You're going to have to get a lot of practice to get good at this game, and I think it needs a lot of comms. There's no solo stroke free-for-all mode. That is always a misstep for me personally. I love going solo and having it, you know what I mean? There's no battle royale mode as it stands, but I don't always want to be in a team. I don't always want to go strategy. Now, as you can see from the gameplay at the start, you know, I can hold my own, and I'm more than happy to do it. Just my preference on play is a first-person shooter. Let's go, let's have it. Now, this is a heavy-based strategy game, which I can do, but it gets a bit boring at points. The maps are a bit big. When it's down to necessarily the last 2, the gap between A and B planting points is quite big on some maps. You're not going to make it all the way across. There's no real, you know, soundtrack in there to make the games lift the rounds up when they get into towards the end point. It's a bit boring after a bit, to be honest. Now, if you get into this, I can totally see that. I'm coming from the casual gaming perspective of how you're going to get on. For me, it's a skip. And for the reasons I've just stated, I think you will have to, if you want to get to a real elite level, you'll have to get on comms. Not everybody wants to. Sometimes you just want to switch on a game and play some. You're always going to have to be in a team. Really, you don't, you know, you can communicate with it without verbalizing, so to speak, because you'll see each other, but it never works the same. You'll just get destroyed by some, you know, top team who are communicating well. So you need that. If you have 3 of you who play games a lot, you'll probably love this, because the 3 of you, if you're on headsets, can communicate and really become a well-oiled unit. But for the casual solo player, Yeah, whenever a game comes out with no solo stroke free-for-all mode, I'm like, oh, come on. What do you think I want to do? I want to run around and get people out of there. That's what I want to do, and there's no option to do that. Now, as you can tell by the stats on the first round, you know, I can hold my own with teams and stuff on these games, but yeah, Spectre Divide is not for me. Gets a bit boring quick, in my opinion, and I respect yours if you love this game. But I'm going to say skip this one. It's very samey. It needs expanding. The colours and the flow of it is nice. It has some major upsides. Some of it is great. I really like the idea of using 2 skins rather than 1, but that's going to take an immense amount of practice to become, you know, really proficient at. I do not think that aims at the casual gamer and the wider audience. I think you're going for a niche, almost pro gamer streamer level of competitiveness on this game. I just don't think it's set up for casual users to do. It's too much like Fortnite Ballistic mode, and at the end of the day, I'm not going to be getting into this one, even though I was an absolute beast in some of these rounds, as you could see from the start and the short that I posted recently. But yeah, it's not for me, and I'm going to give this one a pass. Take it easy. Take care. Bye-bye.